the moon and felt like it was looking back at you. Not just watching, but revealing. Because what if the moon isn't just a rock in the sky? What if it's a lens that reflects everything inside you? Your emotions, your thoughts, your energy. Not creating it, just exposing it. And when that light hits, you feel it. Restlessness, tension, intensity. That's not the moon controlling you. That's you being revealed. Because when your energy is eclipsed, you don't disappear. You fragment. Scattered thoughts, unfocused energy, emotions you can't explain. That's the eclipse. Not outside, inside. But then the full moon rises, and everything hidden comes to the surface, amplified, louder, heavier, harder to ignore. And most people react. They lash out, they lose control, they get pulled by the wave. But emotional intelligence, there's something different. It observes, it doesn't run, it doesn't react, it sees. Because the moment you see it, you can control it. So you center yourself, you breathe, you slow down, you come back to you. Because your energy was never out there, it was always here, inside you. So you stop outsourcing it. No validation, no permission, just source your source. And when you tap into that, everything changes. Now the energy moves, you create, you build, you express, you flow. Because energy that flows transforms, but energy that's blocked explodes. So you stay aware of your cycles, your emotions, your patterns. You adjust the lens over and over and over again, until one day you realize something that the moon never controls you. It never has your power. It only shows you what was already there. So don't fear the light. Don't fear the intensity. That's not weakness. That's exposure. That's true. That's your energy. Trying to break free. So observe it. Center it. Draw from yourself and let it flow. Because your power was never missing. It was only eclipsed.
his claws, I've seen his feast. It whispers lies, it feeds on fear, but I stand strong, the path is clear. The shadows crawl, the weak may fall, deception spreads to choke us all. think that one light up keeps you up night. Make all the beauties quiet. When we were built right.
You know, I've got probably 12, 15 hours into this show working on it. And I come on here and all people want to do is bitch. If you don't like it, you can leave. It's really just that simple. And like my dad used to say, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. I don't have time for nonsense. So just knock it off. Please, just knock it off. Because we don't want to start the show off by banning bitches, but it's not like it's never happened before. So welcome to the Deep Program. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, with the great Christian Whistleblower Plastic Jesus t-shirt, the link to the shop, and somebody told me it was wrong. Thank you. I fixed it. The link to the shop is in my info box below, and I don't know what the hell is wrong with Rumble. I really don't know what's wrong with Rumble. It's probably me, but no matter what I do, I just can't seem to get it to stream. I don't know what the problem is. It just won't stream for me. So I don't know. I'm doing my best. I'm going to have to see if I can get some technical support, I guess, on this. But man, and I'm just going to do this just for grins. I'm going to see if I can start a live stream on Telegram. I'm going to see if I can start a live stream on Telegram. Let's see what happens with this live stream on Telegram. Let's unmute. Let's show the camera. And we might be on. I don't know if we're on or not, but you know what? I'm trying. It says I'm speaking. I don't know if it's anything going on Telegram, but hey, you know what? It would be fun if it would work. It says a live stream was started. I don't know. Maybe we're streaming on Telegram. Maybe we're not, but we are streaming on YouTube and we're streaming on Odyssey. And yeah, Rumble. Oh, Kirsten says Rumble sucks. Well, I'd have to concur with that. But anyway, we've wasted enough time, right? Tonight, we're going to talk about forget the Mandela effect. Forget the Mandela effect. We're going to talk about the IMMANUEL effect tonight. And I'm telling you, the IMMANUEL effect, this is going to be so deep tonight. And I'll tell you right from the start, I'm going to upset some of you. I'm going to hurt some of your feels. And I'm going to ask you to be, forgot my rings. I'm going to ask you to be polite. I'm going to ask you to be open-minded. I'm going to ask you to maybe set aside some knee-jerk reactions because I missed this up until this week myself. So if I can miss it, you can miss it because I do this for a living. So let's just go ahead and listen. I will open the calls. And again, all you have to do is be polite and be interesting. And we will rock and roll. We will rock and roll. Karen says that the Mandela effect is how she found me. I was the only person in the faith arena that gave me a satisfactory answer. I was one of the OGs of the Mandela effect. I was on the Mandela effect on Coast to Coast. It was something like the Mandela effect, the Book of Daniel, and some other stuff. Hey, Daryl. So yeah, I'm one of the OGs on this. And, you know, you can always learn something. An old dog can always learn new tricks. And I'm kind of an old dog, but hey, yeah, sorry dog won't wag his own tail. So I'm not sure where I am because, you know, I've been circling through this for so long, but I'm House M. Div. You ever watched House MD, the TV show? Well, I'm House M. Div as Master of Divinity. I've been diagnosing spiritual anomalies since 1999. We look at the hidden patterns. We look at the symbols. We look at the esoteric history. We look at the anomalies. We look at everything, patterns, symbols, myths, history, truth, and answers are rarely on the surface. And most people just want to stay on the surface. Let's be realistic. Most people just want to stay on the surface. So, and if you remember, House is kind of snarky. So, you know, it works in that regard as well. So, what do you say we get this party started? I think I might start with some nice stuff. I'm not really sure. Oh, yeah.
Guys, oh my god. Fuck, I'm sorry.
idea what's about to happen.
Isn't it crazy that we let them vote?
What country did the United States gain its independence from?
Europe.
Who was the first president of the USA?
Oh, he had a top hat. Yeah.
What's his name?
Abraham Lincoln?
Okay,
Wait.
what do you think?
Yeah, Lincoln.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's Lincoln too. They're going that top hat.
Lincoln. What country is the Great Wall of China in?
Tokyo?
What language did the people in Idaho speak?
Idahoan.
How many years are in a decade, Gemma?
12.
How many are in a century?
500.
What is the closest star to Earth? Okay, relax.
The North Star. The sun. Oh, the sun.
Gemma.
No. The Lone Star.
What country is the Panama Canal in?
Portugal.
This is racing.
All those girls were white too. That's the crazy part. I don't get if I that's just crazy. They're not that smart. If you spotted them a C and a T, most of them couldn't spell cat, but wow, it's just crazy. Yes, they're crazy. They're nuts.
That's it. That's my garage.
Okay, here we go.
It's normally where I paint. I was going out there. It was night. I was gonna do night painting, and I go inside, and before I even turned the light on, I heard something. I thought it was an animal or something like that. And it wasn't. It was not. It was not a raccoon, squirrel. It was not a possum. No. I saw hand. I saw eyes. I saw glowing eyes and hand. I don't know how many fingers, but hand and speaking. I don't know, something coming out of a saying thing, hand, and that was it. I ran. I've not gone back in there, but I'm gonna go. I am gonna go, and I'm gonna show you, so you don't think I'm making it up. I'm gonna show you, but that's why I'm making these videos. So there's evidence, proof, and I'm gonna get it all, and I'm gonna post it and live forever on the internet.
I'm not sure what to think about this James Franco stuff. At first, I thought it was weird. And like Kirsten's saying, the scuttlebutt is now that he's promoting a movie or something. So he's a good actor. So I'm not sure that this is actual real stuff. Maybe he got off his meds. I don't know. But it is James Franco. But I think he's actually running a movie promo. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but I know everybody's thinking about it, so I thought I would at least cover it.
This teacher kept handing out pride flags to his students, but some of them weren't having it.
So I keep hanging these flags up, and then I come back, and someone's ripped the pole off, or broken it in half, but look what someone wrote. Who even says that? It's okay if you have an opinion, but it's mine. I brought it in here. I hung it up.
There's one problem with that, bro. There's one problem with that. You're an effing teacher. You're a teacher. And if you were heterosexual, and you tried to come into your class and talk about how you were heterosexual, you'd probably get fired. We don't care what your sexuality is if you're teaching children. That's the last thing you should talk about. So keep your homosexual zipper zipped and zip your lip too whenever you want to talk about this kind of stuff. Don't hang that stuff up in our classrooms. We don't want it. We don't care if you're a, I'm going to try to be calm. We don't care about your sexuality. Leave it outside the damn classroom. It's just ridiculous. And Her Majesty hits it on the head. He's grooming. Enough. We don't want anymore. One of those is Japan. One of those is the United States, and pick any city. You decide which is one is which. Come on, Black thought leaders. Get your people in order. Get your people in order.
You guys, Keanu Reeves has finally been exposed. He just came out and admitted that he's actually been married to Winona Ryder for the last 30 years. Reeves explained that during the filming of the movie Dracula 30 years ago, that Coppola insisted on using a real Romanian priest during the wedding scene. So as far as he's concerned, they've been married the whole time. And then Winona Ryder actually said, yeah, we've been married for 30 years, which might be the longest standing marriage in Hollywood. I thought that was pretty hilarious and wholesome, but what do y'all think? Let me know down in the comments.
Here's what I think. I think that I keep getting proven right over and over and over, which is pretty cool. I like that. I do like being proven right over and over and over. And they used a real Orthodox priest in the Dracula movie. They used a real Orthodox priest in the Dracula movie. Matthew, I appreciate it. You're here a lot, but if you say one more word about that, you're banned for good and you're never coming back. So shut up, put a sock in it, or I'll put a sock in it for you. It's just that simple. They used an Orthodox priest. They used an Orthodox priest. I'm telling you, you got to go watch the Dracula, the Vampires Deprogram. It's right here on this channel. You got to go watch the Vampires Deprogram. It was used to give you kosher disclosure about who the Jesus character really is. Who the Jesus character really is. You got to check it out. It is amazing, good stuff. I kind of like this guy. I don't like the cross, but he puts out some good content.
One of the distractions that religion has brought to this reality is guilt. Made us to feel guilty that we're alive, guilty that we want more, guilty to be who we actually are. This guilt still lives within the human consciousness. It lives within our hearts. I see it mostly. I've experienced it. As soon as I gave birth, it was like I gave birth to a beautiful baby and also a plate of guilt. This manipulates us. It manipulates us to become people pleasers. It manipulates us to not create strong boundaries. It manipulates us to take on responsibilities that aren't for us to take on. It creates a false or a demasculated mind as the heart takes on everything and the mind takes no responsibility. Therefore, this guilt has to be lifted. We have to see it and realise, what do we do to avoid this guilt and face the guilt itself? To create strong boundaries. You're here to learn to love yourself, and therefore creating boundaries and learning about yourself and realising this is a generational thing. This is what's happened to our human race, and that you have nothing to feel guilty for.
Well, Becky, I've invited you on the show a few times. You don't want to come back. That's okay. I understand. I'm a little bit radioactive these days, but that's all right. But what do you have to feel guilty for? Well, the dominant religion in our country, the dominant religion in the world, says that you have to be guilty for killing the only Son of God. You have to be guilty for the only Son of God having to be crucified to save you from the sin he gave you. If you want to get rid of guilt, there's only one way to get rid of guilt in this country, and that is to get rid of the largest guilt grid that we have. And I think you can figure out what that largest guilt grid is. You know, I've tried to go, people want me to go soft. They want me to go nice. That's not who I am. Christianity is built on guilt. Guilt that you have original sin from two people that never existed and that you never knew, who did something they never did, but they want you to believe they did it so that you will take on original sin. You'll say you need a savior, and they provide the only savior out there, and you have to share the guilt of being the reason why Jesus was crucified, even though he wasn't even real and he wasn't crucified. So come on, if you want to get rid of guilt, let's really get rid of guilt, and let's quit tiptoeing around the tulips. We've been tiptoeing around the tulips for at least 1,000 years, and look where it's got us.
The 13 bloodlines that run the world. Look up. This is not even no theory, y'all. This, you can look up the 25 banks that own everything. Everything. And we feel like we're doing something because we find out who Rockefeller is, and we find out who the Rothschilds are, and we're like, man, figured it out. No. All of them are just puppets. You think the government and the politicians are puppets? Or even the Illuminati's puppets? It's something much darker behind all of that. It doesn't matter if somebody calls you crazy. It really doesn't. At this point, the shit that's finna happen, the shit that they finna do, you think people calling you crazy is the worst that could happen?
This brother gets it. This brother gets it. Hello, Ken. This brother gets it. And he's black and he gets it. There's a lot of people out there besides white people that are getting it. And it's time to stop fighting against these people and running around calling them names and start joining forces with them so we can run these people the hell out of our planet, our universe, our galaxy, our universe. Just run them the hell out. We don't care where they go. They just can't stay here. And this is what we're talking about tonight with this Mandela effect. I know I'm going to make some people mad, but the Mandela effect is a distraction to keep you from understanding what the real effect is. Yeah, he's a rapper. I don't know his name either. But we got to start asking questions. That's step one. But then you have to go beyond asking questions, and you got to start questioning the answers. And when do you stop? You never stop until you stop breathing, and you probably don't even stop then.
You may look at the world around you at present and it's a bit crazy, isn't it? It's a bit crazy because the world is going through a massive birth, and with a birth, things are crazy. But what people are going to wake up to is that there's many people around the world that are actually zombies. They're dead. They're not really alive. They've been running on technology. They died a long, long, long time ago. And therefore you can't really believe in anybody outside of you. The purpose is to believe in just in yourself. It's government officials, religious figures. Reason being is that our reality there's a war going on. This war, you can put it on many sections. If it's a war with Freemasons, a war with elites around the world, with ETs, whatever it is. But the foundation is that we are in a war with technology. That technology takes over the mind of individuals that then work against humanity. And this war is going to continue but a little bit longer, but consciousness has won this war. And we're going to see the downfall of technology. We're going to see the computer-generated world.
I think she's right. We have won the war. I don't think all technology is bad. Technology helps me be better at what I'm doing. AI helps me be better at what I'm doing. AI technology, it makes a horrible, horrible master, but it can make one hell of a servant. So don't, again, ask questions, but then keep questioning the answers that you get. You can never, ever, ever stop asking questions. And you got to remember the second part, questioning.
I got news for you. The devil is not Lucifer. In the Bible, he's called Satan. There's a big difference between the two words. One is Lucifer, one is Satan. Lucifer is Jesus. Jesus in the Bible is called Lucifer. The very last book is Revelation, is the last book. The very last chapter is Revelation 22:16, where Jesus said, Jesus, I am saying it. I am Lucifer. So today, if you want to talk about, oh, the devil is going to get you as Lucifer. No, Lucifer is Jesus, arrowhead. Go back and read the Bible. Read it.
The very last thing, folks, in the Bible. Check it out. In Revelation.
It's in the book of Revelation, 22:16, where Jesus said, Jesus, I am proclaiming, I am Lucifer.
And this tees us up for forget the Mandela effect, because it's really the Immanuel effect that the thing is talking about. It's the Mandela effect that the thing is talking about, but the Mandela effect is just a distraction to keep you from realizing the Immanuel effect. And I think at one point I said, Jordan Maxwell's supposed to come on my show, and then he demanded $500, and I told him no. And I came to find out that he might have had some financial problems there towards the end. So I kind of understand where he's coming from. I still wasn't going to give him $500. Just wasn't going to do it. But let's go ahead and jump into this Immanuel effect. Let's jump into this Mandela effect, and let's get this party started. Let me show this one to you big on the screen, because we know there's been countless paintings, there's been countless stained glass windows, countless sermons, and countless Sunday school materials that depict this lion lying next to the lamb. So is this the Mandela effect? Yes, but only on the surface. And I'm asking you to consider going beyond the surface. Hello, Elderberry. I'm asking you to consider going beyond the surface, beneath the surface, because it's really not the Mandela effect. It's the Immanuel effect. This is probably one of the best deprograms I've ever put together. And in the King James Bible, it says, the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. Why in the world do billions of people remember a lion lying with a lamb when the Old Testament has always said, and I mean always said, and I just leave the screen up there, so if you want, you can stop it, blow it up later, and see the references that I'm getting into. And this lion and the lamb, wolf and the lamb, it's the most famous example that is constantly cited by people that discuss the Mandela effect, because the verse in question is universally remembered as the lion shall lie down with the lamb. However, that exact phrase does not appear in the Bible, and it never did. I've studied back to the oldest Hebrew text, and it never appeared in the original Hebrew text. I know that you're going to get all upset about it, but it never appeared. Even in the oldest Hebrew text, it was never there. And I'm actually going to show you this text. What was that one? I forget I'm a little bit upset tonight, so I'm trying to get myself together. It's Isaiah 11:6. I'm just going to look it up and I'm going to show it to you because it's very important that you see what I'm talking about. You know, a lot of people think that, oh, it's in the Bible. I know it's in the Bible. I read it in the Bible. Well, you really did not read it in the Bible. You think you read it in the Bible. People told you it was in the Bible, but you really never read it in the Bible. I'm going to show you some reasons why it's never really been in the Bible. Let me see if I can share this way, trying to do things a little bit differently, conserve some bandwidth and conserve my computer so it doesn't bog us down. Let's see if I can do that. Yeah, there it is. So let's go ahead and look at this in the original text. It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to try to get it to where you can see it. Because right here you can see 11:6, the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. And I'm looking at, thank you, Blake. I'm looking at Bible Hub, which is an online interlinear. I don't own it. I don't get paid by it. And if you tell them I'm using it, they'll probably cut me off. Now, unfortunately, it's not going to work so great this way. Let me go ahead and do it another way so we can see this, because it's important for you to notice this is really foundational. So we're going to go to Isaiah again, and we're going to go to verse 11 or chapter 11 again. And then it's in verse number 6, 11:6, which is interesting because 11:6 is an 8, isn't it? 11:6 is an 8, which is, if you're a student, really, really interesting because you know there's a lot of things that deal with that number 8, aren't there? There's a lot of things that deal with that number 8. So let me show this to you here. Now, the thing to notice here is that this is a more literal translation. These are all hyperlinks. So I can click on wolf right here, wolf, and it'll take me. Let me go back. I can go up here, you see where it's all blue? I can go to interlinear. It's going to show me the Hebrew. This is the entire Hebrew. So now I can look at the wolf. So this gets out of interpretation. This gets out of translations. This is the original Hebrew. What is that word originally? The word originally in the oldest Hebrew manuscripts was wolf. Wolf. It has never been lion. It was always wolf. Always wolf. And very interesting, it comes from a word that means yellow. The word means yellow. So it was never lion. It was always wolf. Always, always, always wolf. You've got to understand that, because if you don't understand that, then you don't understand the Immanuel effect. You don't understand what's being sold to you. So you've got to really get this if you really want to get this. And I'm trying to help you get this tonight. So that's why we're taking the time. That's why we're making the effort, because this is important stuff, folks. This is important stuff. And the word there means to be yellow. And a lot of you aren't as old as I am, but the word yellow has always meant to be cowardly, to be timid, to lack courage. He was too yellow to stand up to the bully. Don't be yellow, go ask her out. And the expression became really well known in the United States during the 1800s and early 1900s by Hollywood Westerns. You've got to understand that the Mandela effect, hey, tribal, the Mandela effect is a strictly media-driven, media-created effect, and we know who controls the media. Yellow-bellied cowards, right? So yellow was also associated with being sick, being unhealthy. I think the Mandela effect is going to reveal to us that not only are Christians cowardly, not only is Christianity cowardly, yellow belly, but Christianity is also sick. And in the oldest heathen color schemes, yellow means weak. Yellow means betrayal. Yellow means fear. And I want you to consider tonight, with all of this evidence that I'm bringing to you, is Christianity weak? Is it a betrayal? And is it terrified of us? And this is a stunning example of occulted kosher disclosure. Jeff, what do you mean? They want you to believe that the Bible was changed, but it never was. Because if they can keep you focused on, oh, the Bible's been changed, which is interesting if it's written by the most powerful being, how could another being change it? But they want you to start questioning everything so you won't get the main thing. The main thing is the IMMANUEL effect. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And let me just go ahead and hit this because it's going to come up. I know I'm going to get a lot of emotional reactions from people tonight screaming, it was in the Bible. I read it for myself. I read it in the Bible. I saw the pictures in my Bible. Sunday school never told me about the Bible or about the wolf. It was the lion. Can we just be honest here for a minute? If you want to say this to me, if you're saying this to yourself, if you're getting ready to put it in the chat, I know it was in the Bible. Honestly, ask yourself, have you ever even read the Bible cover to cover? Have you ever even studied it in a concordance or an interlinear? Do you even know what a concordance or an interlinear is? Can you spell it? I have over 200,000 hours worth, not 20, 200,000 hours worth of study in the Bible. Do you really think that you have the knowledge base to scream nonsense at me? Do you really think you have the knowledge base to scream nonsense at me? And the phone lines are even open right now. But be forewarned, we are not going to stand for any nonsense. If you call in, you better have a take, as Jim Rome says, and you better not suck, or you're not going to really like the results. So if you want to call up about this Mandela effect or about this IMMANUEL effect, 913-228-2586. Be polite, be interesting, and be YouTube friendly. Be polite, be interesting, and be YouTube friendly. The King James Version also has Revelation 22 in it. It goes up to verse 21. Revelation 22:21 is the last verse in most of the standard Bibles that we have, most of the standard Bibles that we know of. So please just listen if you want to get some information tonight. And why do people get so emotional over this? I thought we were truth seekers. Why don't we continue to seek truth even if it steps on our feels, even if it seems to upset our little religious apple cart? And if you'll notice, just one verse later, there is a lion mentioned. There is a lion mentioned. It says the lion will eat straw like the ox. And that's part of the IMMANUEL effect, and we'll get to that. But billions of people remember a lion and a lamb. And there's reasons for that. Lions are much more powerful symbolically in a cultural sense than a wolf. And they don't like the connection with the wolf for reasons that we can't talk about on YouTube. But the key reason for the Mandela effect, focusing on the lion and the lamb, is because Jesus, after the writing of Isaiah, most likely, Jesus became the lion of the tribe of Judah. So they had to back engineer it. They back engineered a distraction for you to miss the big distraction. And we actually do misremember it. It was never lion and the lamb in the Bible. It was never lion and the lamb in the in the oldest Hebrew text. We remember it as lion and the lamb because we've been indoctrinated. They're really that good. They've had 1,000 years, in my estimation, to indoctrinate us to the lion and the lamb, and they've done a really good job because Jesus, as both being lion and lamb, that creates a really memorable contrast for us. And when they picture Jesus as a massive contradiction, it's a brilliantly occulted or hidden kosher disclosure that even fooled the Christian whistleblower. Up until a couple of weeks ago when I started thinking about this, I too thought that it once said lion and the lamb. It never did. And we're going to show you compelling evidence for that tonight. But think about why we think it's the lion and the lamb. We exclusively think it's the lion and the lamb because of Abrahamics, media, and art. Paintings, windows, sermons, Sunday school. It's always been the lion and the lamb. To understand what's really happening, which is the Immanuel effect, you have to understand that the Mandela effect is a 100% media-driven phenomenon, and we know who controls the media. These images are much more familiar to people than the actual text because nobody reads the Bible. Even when these Christians raid this channel and they call in, I always ask them, have you ever read the Bible cover to cover? And we haven't had one of them yet say, yes, I have. If you don't read the Bible, if you don't study the Bible, you don't know what the Bible says. But we've all been exposed to these media images of the lion and the lamb. That's why we believe them. That's why we believe them. And this verse has been carefully crafted to create a composite memory that's been conflated with kosher disclosure. Kosher disclosure is when they put things in the Bible that they have to put there so they can say, we told these people, but they know you're not going to look at it. Isaiah mentions the wolf and the lamb, and the imagery was intentionally compressed into the simpler lion and lamb via indoctrination. This is what's really going on. Popular Christian songs, sermons, hymns, preachers. The language is poetic. The language is memorable. And it's 100% Abrahamics produced. 100% Abrahamics produced. You're live with Jeffrey Darty. What's on your mind? Oops, I got to hit press 1 because I was trying to get rid of trolls. 1. You're live with Jeffrey Darty. What's on your mind? You're live. What's on your mind? Well,
thing that I've also picked up on. I'm having a conversation with me. It's not.
You're breaking up really, really bad. I'm going to have to let you go. You're breaking up really, really bad. We can't hear you. We cannot hear you. You'll have to try and call back. You're breaking up really, really bad. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. We're trying our best to do what we can, but, you know, sometimes people are in a place of bad reception and, you know, it just doesn't always work. It just doesn't always work. So the thing that's hard for us to realize tonight, is that the Mandela effect has been Abrahamic's indoctrination from the jump. And the question that we have to ask ourselves as thinkers, was and is the Mandela effect a mandated kosher disclosure? Because they had to tell us that Jesus is the wolf. But Jeff, we were taught specifically that the lion shall lie down with the lamb. Jeff, we memorized it. Our pastors quoted it. There's all kinds of artwork. So, Jeff, you're wrong. Says the people that have never even read the Bible through one time, and they've never ever studied it. They haven't even followed the Bible itself, because in 2 Timothy 2:15 it says, study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And unfortunately, even within the people that are seeking truth, it's easier to believe in a supernatural Mandela effect because it's sexy and it's fun. It's much easier to believe in the supernatural Mandela effect, at least as it affects the Bible, than to admit that you haven't been a diligent student and that you've missed it all along. Even I missed it. And Karen lets us know it was even on Jeopardy. This is the granddaddy of all Bible Mandela effects. And it is the flagship example that's fed to us by the dominant media complex, and we know who controls that. This is the IMMANUEL effect, and we're going to get deep into this tonight. But Jeff, what about those other Mandela effects? The fruit of the loom used to have a cornucopia, now it doesn't. In Star Wars, originally Darth Vader said to his son, who was his son, Luke Skywalker, wasn't a Star Wars guy, Luke, I am your father. But now he doesn't say it. And the Berenstein turned Berenstain Bears. And I got something for you on that in just a minute. The thing you have to ask yourself tonight, are all of these part of a masterful Abrahamics propaganda effort and not a supernatural effect at all? Because if you're a thinker, you've got to admit that the Mandela effect is a strictly media-driven engine. And that engine is to drive the Immanuel effect. And any non-biblical, supernatural things that you're convinced happened, they happened because of Kabbalistic magic. They happened because of Kabbalistic magic, and that's it. So I'm saying forget the Mandela effect and learn about the Immanuel effect, because that's the real big thing here. Now, check this out. I've had this photo for probably at least 5, 6, maybe 7 years. Up here, we've got the Berenstein Bears. Down here, we've got the Berenstain Bears. So let me see if I can take this call real quick. Let me see if I can take this call real quick. I don't think I can get to it fast enough. And I don't really want to take a call right now anyway, so I'm going to turn the calls off for now. We're going to turn the calls off for now. So we're not going to do the calls right now. I want to get into this. I want to make sure that we get through this. But I've got this picture. I'm going to show you this bigger. On the top, it says the Berenstein Bears. On the bottom, it says the Berenstain Bears. So here's the bottom. Here's the one you know, the Berenstain Bears. You see that? The Berenstain Bears, S-T-A-I-N, the Berenstain Bears. Well, Jeff, how do you know this isn't AI? Jeff, how do you know this isn't fake? Because this is from Cynthia's personal copy. This is from Cynthia's personal copy. That's her grandson holding the tapes. The Berenstain Bears. But wait, look at this. Here's the Berenstain Bears. That was first. The Berenstain Bears were first. Then it became the Berenstein Bears. And even look at the numbers here. Look at the numbers here. It was in number 81955-1, the Berenstein Bears, with obvious proto-Abrahamic implications. But by 8195-6, 81958-6, which is later, obviously, it became the Berenstain Bears. And even this isn't supernatural. They just changed it. I mean, look at this. This is VHS tape number 81955-1. It was the Berenstein Bears or the Berenstein Bears. Proto-Abrahamic, telling you. Berenstein Bears, and bears will loom large in this. Bears will loom large in this. And then about, what, 300 or so tapes later, 55 to 58-6-1. These are sequential serial numbers. Then it became the Berenstain Bears. Jay Mars is saying the Mandela effect purposely changed things. Well, the Berenstein Bears to Berenstein Bears is one of the greatest Mandela effects. And we see compelling physical evidence that it was Berenstein and the people that produced these media changed it to Berenstain. It wasn't supernatural. They just changed the name of the thing. And just so you can see it a little bit larger, and this disappearing honey will loom large too. Honey, lions, bears, it's going to loom large. Tuck it in the back of your mind. They first were the Berenstein Bears, and later they were changed by the media themselves that produced the bears to the Berenstain Bears. Why? Because they wanted to fuel the Mandela effect, which is created to make sure you don't notice the IMMANUEL effect. And interestingly, Deborah says that there's a quote from the Berenstein Bears that says, "This isn't something you can put back together again once it's broken. I'm putting it back together for you tonight. We're making it very plain. We're making it very easy. If you really want to think, you can see it." It's not supernatural as far as the bears go. It's a media-driven hoax to keep you from understanding the deep implications of the Immanuel effect. And even though Isaiah says wolf and lamb, the Bible does contain later lion and lamb imagery, where Jesus becomes the lion of the tribe of Judah, and Jesus becomes the Lamb of God in the book of John. What happened was that the Abrahamic matrix intentionally confused lion and lamb symbolism and teachings about Jesus to indoctrinate people's minds in diffusing those ideas with Isaiah's prophecy. And they created a mandated kosher disclosure contradiction about the very nature of the Jesus that Christianity is based upon. Based upon. This is the Immanuel effect. And from the standpoint of the original Hebrew text, Isaiah has always been wolf and lamb. It's never been lion and the lamb, as far back as the oldest Hebrew text can be traced. And the Immanuel effect is people being ignorant of what the Bible really says, so much so that they'll just believe what they're told about it and what they're told about what they're told about it. I hope you're beginning to see this. This has never been taught before anywhere. And in John chapter 1, verse 29, we have John saying, John saw Jesus coming and he said, behold, the Lamb of God, which takes away the sin of the world. I want to look at John 1:29 for just a minute. I want to look at John 1:29 for just a minute. Let's look at John 1:29 for just a minute. It's very important that we do this. And just so I can show you how this works, so if you want to study the Bible for yourself, if you're that one person out there that probably wants to study the Bible for themselves, I want to show you how to do it. I want to show you how to do it. So this is Bible Hub right here. And we're on Ezekiel right now, but we want to be in John. So all we do is go up here to this drop-down menu, and we pull down, and we grab John. And we want to go to the first chapter of John, and let's do King James because everybody loves a gay king. So let's go to John 1 and was it 29, which is an 11. So here it is, and you see these are blue, so you can click on it. It'll make it bigger. Make it bigger, baby. And it'll bring it into a more literal translation. So John saw Jesus coming towards him, and he said, look, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world. But he gave us the sin. So the guy that gave us the sin, Dagger, I love you. That's an emotional response. Why would you think that it differs from timeline to timeline when it's never been different in any timeline? I'm asking you to think a little bit outside the box. And what's interesting is this take away. Look at what take away means. Take away means to remove, to carry away, to take up. So it's taking away our desire to actually study the Bible and to make up things like timelines and supernatural and stuff like that. The phone lines are not open. Please don't call right now. The phone lines are not open. Please don't call right now. It's trying to take this away. And interestingly, the same word, take away, is also the same word used in the rapture in 1 Thessalonians 4:16 and 17. To take us away in a rapture. So they're rapturing us out of our minds. They're rapturing us out of our thinking so that we won't be able to think, we won't be able to reason, we won't be able to understand, and we'll believe everything that they told us. And even really, really smart people, even people that are really seeking after truth, would rather believe that it's supernatural, would rather believe that it's sexy when it's really not. It's just not. It never happened that way. But I guarantee I'll give you something that's better to think about. I'll give you something that's better to think about. And the big takeaway here is that word take away, that I just showed you, it is a Hebraism. That means it's a Hebrew saying, which means to atone for sin. So the reason why they're trying to take away your understanding that it always was the wolf and the lamb, they're trying to smuggle Jesus in there because he's the one they smuggled in to atone for your sin. But the thing you got to remember is that Jesus is the one who gave us our sin. And the only way to get forgiven for it is to come to the guy to save you from the sin they gave you. Did the Abrahamics matrix leverage Jesus as lion to give us the sin, and then as lamb to take us away, to take away the sin that he gave us? Plus, it shows the seeds for the rapture deception. And I got to show you this one. This is a little bit cumbersome tonight, but I've got to show you this one. I've got to show you 1 Thessalonians 4:16 and 17, because this is absolutely huge. If you get this, you just might get this. This is so big, I can't even tell you how big this is. I can't even tell you how big this is. I've got to show you, because I don't think you'd believe me if I didn't show you. I don't think you'd believe me if I didn't show you. So now we're in Acts. We're looking up the word to take away. And right down here, you see it's a Hebraism, to atone for sin. Just so you know, I'm in the book. But now we want to go to, now I forgot the damn verse. Oh, 1 Thessalonians 4:16. So we just hit the drop-down menu. 1 Thessalonians. And you're still in that interlinear, so you got to go back to the Bible. Just hit King James, and you're in Thessalonians 1. You want to be in Thessalonians 4. See, this is how you study the Bible. And we want to come down to verse 16. So verse 16, over here in the bigger, it says that, watch this. Watch this. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven. What is heaven? Heaven is the sky. You see that? Heaven is the sky. So it's not talking about coming from the streets of gold and sitting on clouds. It's talking about Jesus coming down from the sky. The sky. Oh, but Jeff, it says Jesus is coming in the clouds. Now, we want to search that. So we're going to put coming in the clouds, and we're going to hit enter. Coming in the clouds, and we're going to hit New Testament, because we only want the New Testaments, because we know we're looking for a verse. Oh, here it is, Mark 13:26. Jesus is coming on the clouds. Look, Jeff, it says right there, he's coming on the clouds. It's plural. This is how deep you've got to get, folks. This is how deep you've got to get. You've got to go even beyond this. Because in the original Greek, he's not coming on the clouds. But guess what? I can click on this word, and it's going to tell me what he's coming on. Do you see it right there? Do you see it right there? He is not coming on the clouds. He's coming on the cloud. The word is singular. He's coming on the cloud. The one cloud. And some of you are already picking up why that's important. The Mandela effect is a completely media-driven phenomenon. It's a completely media-driven phenomenon. And they tried to tell you that Jesus is coming in the clouds. They lied to you on purpose. See, even the biblical scholars lie. Even the biblical scholars lie. Can you believe that? Even the biblical scholars will lie, because he's not coming on the clouds. He's coming on the cloud, the one cloud. Karen Lee is over it. She's on it. And what is the cloud? The cloud is the internet. Think about it. Without the cloud, without the internet, the Mandela effect would never have become a thing. It never would have become a thing. Jesus coming on the cloud, the internet, distracting you with the Mandela effect, that is the IMMANUEL effect. He's always been this wolf, this ravening wolf, as we will see. We'll see what the wolf is in the Bible. He's always been this. But now they've got you believed that on a hill far away stood an old Chevrolet, an old rugged cross. They're using the cloud and all their lightning from the cloud to turn Jesus from what he really was, which was this, into the cuddly, kindly little lamb that everybody loves. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow. And everywhere, you little sheep, you little lambs, everywhere, you little lamb lovers, everywhere that lamb follows, you are sure to go. You are sure to go. So, Jeff, why is this wolf thing so important? Well, look, there's only 11 verses in the whole Bible that have the word wolf. 11. 11. And I'm going to show you them, because this is why they had to pull the Mandela effect so you wouldn't recognize the IMMANUEL effect, which is Jesus is a wolf, not a lamb. This is a very deep biblical show tonight. Some of you might not have the tummy for it, but that's okay. The first one that I'm going to look at, there's only 11. We're going to look at them. Genesis 49:27. Benjamin, which is the tribe, one of the tribes of Israel, and Christian identity loves to say they're Israel. Benjamin shall raven or attack and eat and destroy as a wolf. A wolf. A wolf. In the morning, he's going to devour prey. At night, he's going to divide the spoil. I'm trying not to be so excited. But the tribe of Benjamin was of the kingdom of Judah. Judah. As in the lion of the tribe of Judah. The lion of the tribe of Judah is the wolf. He's not the lion. He's the wolf. He's not the lamb. He's the wolf. And they've gone out of their way to confuse you. And you're even arguing with the Christian whistleblower, some of you. I get it. You should question me. But when I'm showing you the receipts, man, you got to wake up. Benjamin is a ravenous wolf. He wants to tear you apart. Jesus is a ravenous wolf. And watch this stuff right here. Watch this stuff. Left-handers, right and left, left-handers. Watch this. Watch this. And by the way, Genesis 49:27 equals 22, which is a double perfect 11, which is one of the holiest numbers. They're stealing it. They're corrupting it. And then in Judges, which is a cross-reference to Genesis 49, Judges 20:16, which equals 9. Tesla said, learn the 9, 6, and 3, and you'll figure it out. Among the soldiers they sent out to kill the heathens, they were left-handed. 7, another interesting number. They were left-handed. What's the left hand? Christianity teaches that the left hand is the bad path. It's Satanism. It's evil. So why did the Bible God choose 700? Remember the demons? Go back and get 7 more like them. Jesus comes in like we showed you on the vampire show. The Father comes in. They can get 7 more just like them, worse than them. Why did they choose 700 left-hand path people? The Mandela effect is left-hand black magic outside the Bible. It was never in the Bible, but outside the Bible, it's left-hand magic. And they were expert marksmen. And what were they going to do? They were going to throw stones and shoot arrows. Slinging stones goes back to David slaying the giant. David is the father of the lion of the tribe of Judah. They're trying to sling stones at you. They're trying to shoot arrows at you. And guess what? They're Saul's kinsmen. Do you know the original name of the Apostle Paul is Saul? That's his real name. He changed his name. But they always do. And they're from Benjamin. And guess where the Apostle Paul was from? Benjamin. He told you he's from Benjamin. Are you starting to put it up? Are you starting to put it together? Are you starting to put it together? And by the way, Chronicles 12:2 equals 5, not 6. No, with the 1, it equals First Chronicles. It equals 6, 6, 6, 2, 2, 2, 6. But today they're using both the right and the left hands, not just the left. They started out with the left hand path. Now they're using both the right-hand path and the left-hand path with the Apostle Paul from the tribe of Benjamin. And then we have Judges 3:15 through 30, which equals up to a 3. There's your 369 for Tesla. They cried out to the God of the Bible, and he raised up a left-handed Benjamite to deliver them. The Apostle Paul. And what did he do? He made himself a double-edged sword, and he strapped it to his thigh under his cloak. And what does Hebrews 4:12 say? What does Hebrews 4:12 say? The word of God, the word of the Bible, God, is a two-edged sword. And the sword of the Spirit is the word of God. Folks, this is how you study the Bible. This is how you know what the Bible says. They're using the left-hand path, Kabbalistic magic, and it's not even really magic because they just changed it, just like they changed the bears. They just made a change. They just changed it. It wasn't supernatural. They just changed it. But they got you so convinced after 1,000 years of indoctrination that some of you who should know better are willing to swear, oh my God, I know it was there. It wasn't. It was never there. We've been indoctrinated, even me. In the morning, he devours his prey. In John chapter 9, Jesus says, I've got to work while it's still day. In the morning, what's the morning start? The day. Jesus says, I can only work while it's day. And what is Jesus here to do? Devour people that aren't going to bow the knee to him. Throw them in the lake of fire. So is devouring prey who are non-Christians their work? It's pretty evident, isn't it? And at night, they divide the spoils. So they work all day, killing heathens, throwing them in the lake of fire. But at night, they can't work. Why can't they work at night? Even Jesus said in John chapter 9, verse number 4, when the night comes, no man can work because they're busy dividing the spoil of their plunder at night. In the day, he'll devour the prey. At night, they'll divide the spoils. What are the spoils? Judges 5:30, which is an 8, tells you the spoils. The spoils, a girl or two for each warrior to rape. Stealing some cool clothes and being looters. This is why they had to get Jesus out of that wolf image and into that lion image. Because the wolf spends the day killing heathens and spends the night raping the women of the heathens he killed. It's not Jeff Darty saying it. It's the Bible. That's the book for you and me. It sure is getting quiet. This is what I do. Let's move to the lion now. We're still on the lion. A roaring lion, like a roaring lion, so is a wicked ruler over poor people. Can I ask you a question? Are today's rulers wicked? Have they made us poor? Then are they lions, just like the Bible says? What percentage of elected officials in the United States are Christian, Jewish, and Muslim? 87% of the members of the 119th Congress, which is in session right now, that's the House and the Senate, 87% of them are Christian, 6% are Jewish. 93% of our government is Christian. Are they wicked? Are they making us poor? Are they devouring us? Are they spoiling us and our children? Christians are 80 to 90% of all the elected officials in the United States. We all agree that the government is our main problem. And at least 90% of our government is Christian, of Jesus, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. You know the government's the problem. You know the government is 90% Christian. Why won't you see the problem? Why won't you see the problem? And then Revelation 13:2 says, which is also a 6, the number of man, the beast has power, has seat. What do they call the offices in the Senate? He's a senator. He has a seat in the Senate. He has a seat in the House of Representatives. 90% of the people that have the seat are Christian. They're of Jesus. They're of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Why won't you see this problem? They have the power. They have the seats. They have the great authority. And they're stealing from you in the day and raping your children in the night. And just like James said, I forgot to add this in, you will own nothing and be happy. Well, you're on your way to owning nothing. How happy are you? This is where it came in, James. You're just a little bit ahead. I'm gonna email Jim and tell him we can't do his segment tonight. We just can't do it tonight. We're gonna have to pass on it tonight. I should have done this earlier. I was gonna do it earlier, but I didn't. And I just can't. I just got to tell him I just can't do your segment tonight. Sorry, give me a second. Sorry. Should have told you earlier, but I just can't do it tonight. He might be upset. I hope not. He might be upset. I hope not. But you'll have to understand, Jim, this is just too important. I can't stop this now. 2 Corinthians 6:9. 6s and 9s are reversible. We're unknown. We don't have a face in this government. We don't have a face in this world anymore. But we're finding out who we are. We're dying, but yet we're going to live. We're being beat up, but we're not dead yet. We're sorrowful, but yet we're rejoicing because we know who we are. We're poor because we're making them rich, and we have nothing, but we possess all things. There you go, James. You will have nothing and you will be happy. Ezekiel 22, 25, and 27. There's a conspiracy of the prophets. They are lions ravening the prey. They're taking our treasure. They're taking our precious things. And again, one more time, I'll drive it home. We know the government's doing this. We know they're the problem. We know the government is 90% Christian. They're of the line of the tribe of Judah. Why won't you see the problem? And are you beginning to see the Emmanuel effect? And they showed it to you again in the Bible. 1 Kings 13:28. He went and he found a carcass cast in the way. Do you feel like a carcass cast in the way today? The ass, which is the emblem of the Democratic Party, the donkey, the ass is the emblem of the Democratic Party, and the lion, all the MAGA Republicans that love the Lion of the tribe of Judah, they're just standing by the carcass, and they're not doing anything to tear the ass. They keep talking, but they never do anything. And these great MAGA, Q, Christian Republicans stand by the carcass of our people. They stand by the carcass of our nation, while the Democrats are the ass. are doing it to us, and they're helping, and they have not yet torn the ass. What are they waiting for? I could say something about the Epstein files and what kind of asses they're tearing, but I won't go there. In Ezekiel 9:6, he went up and down among the lions. He became a young lion, and he learned to catch the prey and devour men. This is the Immanuel effect. Psalm 17:12, like a lion that's greedy of his prey, like a young lion lurking in secret places. The Mandela effect is the secret place. The Immanuel effect, which I'm showing you tonight, is the disclosure. Again, the government, 90% of the problem, 90% of them are of the line of the tribe of Judah. Why won't you see the problem? Isaiah 31:4 and 8 again. For thus saith the God of the Bible, like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey. They're telling you plainly what they plan to do, and they're doing it now. Ezekiel 19:2. Who is your mother? A lioness. Who's the mother of Christianity? Judaism. Christianity was born out of Judaism. If you're born out of a Jewish mother, what are you? You're Jewish. You can't take the Judeo out of the Christian. You just can't. 90% government is 100% of the problem. Christianity is 90% of the government. Of the Lion of the tribe of Judah, why won't you see the problem? I'm trying to help you tonight. Amos 3:8, which is an 11. The lion is roaring, and a lot of you are afraid. Who's the lion roaring? It's the Lord God himself roaring. It's the Lord God himself roaring. But who dares to prophesy, preach, tell the truth? I do. Jeremiah 4:7, another 11. These things are not random. The lion comes up from his thicket. The destroyer of the heathens is on his way. He's the lion of the tribe of Judah who's really a wolf. He's going to try to make your house desolate and your cities waste. How's he doing so far? Is your land desolate? Are your cities waste? He lies in wait secretly in the Immanuel effect, covered by the Mandela effect, which has you all distracted. Timelines, CERN. No. He's a lion in his den, trying to catch the poor, drawing them into his net. And who was the fisher of men? What did Jesus say? I will make you fishers of men. Who is it trying to catch men in a net? The lion of the tribe of Judah. Government, Christianity, why don't you see the problem? Joel 1:68, 7 and 8 is 15. There's another 6. A nation has come upon our land, strong without number. Their teeth are what? Teeth of a lion, of a great lion. Kosher disclosure demands that you know he's a lion, even though he's really a wolf. It's not that hard to figure out if you're willing to look. There's 135 verses about lions across the Bible. It was easier for bears, right? I'm not going to go through all of them, although I did go through all of them. But remember the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Lions roar for prey, and God gives them their food. Who was your mother? A lion. Judah is a young lion. He's the lion of the tribe of Judah, but he's really a wolf. How do you frighten them away? How do you frighten them away? Well, until you do, Israel will continue, it says, to speak lies, to use a deceitful tongue. The answer is this. When we sit under our own vines, under our own fig tree with no one to frighten us, that's the answer. That will give peace to our land. We'll have nothing to fear. We will get rid of these dangerous animals. But now, the Lion of the tribe of Judah is roaring. They're seizing prey. They're carrying us away. And it seems like no one can rescue us, but we will have good news by the end of this deprogram. All the princes are lions. All the senators, all the congressmen, they're lions. And they're wolves. Do you see it? They're lions and they're wolves. Jesus, lion, wolf. Like a lion, I will pounce on them. I will lurk by the path. The remnant of Jacob. That's who the Christian identities say they are. The remnant of Jacob. They're a lion. They will destroy us, they say, and no one will rescue us. In the New Testament, we've only got 9 verses for lion. Mr. B, you must be late. It's always said wolf. Hebrews 11:33. 11:33. Talking about the great heroes of faith. They're lions. You're right, Kylie. Gideon. What are all the Bibles in the hotels? Gideon Bibles. Samson, who's tied to lions and was a killer of heathens. Jephthah, who sacrificed his daughter. The heroes of the faith in Hebrews 11:3 include a guy that sacrificed his own daughter. The king of Judah, David, the father of the Lion of the tribe of Judah, and most likely a homosexual with Jonathan. Who through faith and acts of faith include human sacrifice, according to Hebrews 11:33, subdued and crushed heathen kingdoms, wrought righteousness by killing heathens. They stopped, they fenced in their gatekeeping. The Lion of the tribe of Judah, the IMMANUEL effect. They control what you think you know. I know it was in the Bible. I know it's CERN. I know it's timelines. Then they tell you what to think about why they indoctrinated and what they indoctrinated you with. This is the Mandela effect. They know you're not going to read the Bible, so they tell you what it says. Oh, it said lion and lamb. No, it didn't. It never did. And then they tell you what to think about what they indoctrinated you with. This is the IMMANUEL effect. The Mandela effect is a distraction. This is the real deal I'm telling you about tonight. Daniel 6 and 7. Daniel 6 and 7. The presidents, the governors, the senators, the House of Representatives, they have consulted together that whosoever will not bow the knee to the Jesus character will be cast into a den of lions, a lake of fire. This is a scripted prophecy and version of what they're doing to us now and what they really want to do to us in a theocratic Christian United States of America. We will wind up in the den of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. Zechariah 11:3. The shepherds are howling, Christ is king. They've spoiled our glory. You know what spoiled means. We just showed it. And what are they obeying? The voice of the roaring young lion of the tribe of Judah. Remember I said honey? Remember the Bernstein Bears, the Berenstein Bears? They were still Berenstein when they talked about honey. And in Judges 14:18, on the Sabbath, Samson went out and he found a lion filled with honey. Honey. What's sweeter than honey? What's stronger than a lion? A lion that's trying to kill you, that gives you something sweet that you think is good. And then Samson gives a great prophecy of me and the few people that are like me. If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not be able to find out my riddle. I plowed with that heifer for 25 years. For 20 years, I was a full-time Pentecostal minister, licensed with the largest Pentecostal denominations on earth. For 5 years, I was part-time. I've plowed with that heifer. And I used to feel really bad about spending so much of my life in that horrible place. But if I hadn't plowed with that heifer, I would not have been able to figure out the riddle, even this riddle tonight. And about honey, Revelation chapter 10, verse 10. 10:10. Christianity's completion, double completion. Daryl, you're right. They've got you trading one false reality for another. Oh, the Mandela effect. No, it's the IMMANUEL effect. Revelation 10:10. Let me show you this big so you can see it. I took the little book. The little book is the New Testament. The Old Testament's really big. The little book, the New Testament's little. I took the little book, the New Testament, out of the messenger's hand. And really, Jesus' character is the Archangel Michael. Study it, you'll see. And I ate it up. So many of our great people, heathen people, have ate up the New Testament. And it tasted sweet as honey. Honey in the lion, who's really a wolf. It's the IMMANUEL effect. But it made me sick. And I've got to prophesy this before peoples, nations, tongues, and kings. I got to tell the truth. Even if I got to work, I still got to tell the truth. Samson, whose job was killing heathens, showed us that the only thing stronger than a lion that used to be a wolf is a lion filled with honey, something sweet, but it really makes you think it's sweet when you get saved, but it makes you sick. It's making some of you sick tonight. I do know all their secrets, Super Galactic. I do know all their secrets. It wasn't a waste of time. I know their secrets, and I'm telling it to peoples, nations, tongues, and kings. Why did they want to make your stomach sick? Have you ever heard of the gut brain? Your digestive system isn't just a food processing tube. It's a massive neurological communication network. It's your second brain. It's called your enteric nervous system. And enteric sounds a lot like etheric, doesn't it? Do you know there's more thinking neurons in your stomach than there are in your spinal cord, including your brain? I don't know about including your brain. There's more thinking neurons in your gut than there is in your spinal cord. And even though the Christian gospel sounds sexy to you, and when you first get it, it sounds sweet, if you actually read the Bible cover to cover, studied it, it will make you sick. And literally, it turns your gut off. Your gut's called your second brain. Your second brain. And let's face it, a lot of people use their stomach a whole lot more than they use their brain. So if you're going to screw them up, that's where you screw them up. You know your blink, I call it your blink, your gut instinct. Why do you get sick when you're under stress? You get gut feelings about people, not just figures of speech. Because your brain and gut work through your vagus nerve, your hormones, your immune system, and all these neurotransmitters greater than your spinal cord. And even the signals that go to your brain come from your digestive system. I am dropping some heavy revies on you tonight. Do you know the gut makes the chemicals that make your brain work? 90% at least of the serotonin, which is what makes your brain work, is produced in your gut. It controls your mood. It controls your sleep. It controls your appetite. It controls your digestion. Throwback says, didn't Paul write 80% of the New Testament? No. He wrote 66% of the New Testament. Imagine that. The gut controls your dopamine. That's what makes you feel good. It controls your GABA, which makes you think good. Your gut affects the chemical environment of your brain. That's why the Christian gospel is meant to taste sweet so you'll swallow it. Because once you swallow it, you're usually so sick you never get out of it. I know that I'm mostly wasting my time, but I got out of it. I get letters every 2 weeks at least of people telling me, Jeff, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have got out of it. That's probably true because they wouldn't have heard the message. And there's a kosher disclosure in the Bible that says, how can they hear without a preacher? I'm still a preacher. All I can do, though, is give you the words. You're the one that has to get yourself out. Now you know why it tastes so sweet. And now you know why listening to me makes you sick, because you're realizing, oh, man, I messed up. Do you have the guts to step out? The lion commands respect. The wolf evokes fear. Good one, Deborah. You know what your microbiome are? Those are the things in your, thank you, Mary. Those are the things in your gut. The things that make you anxious. And they're trying to scare you. The things that make you depressed. The things that make you stressed. The things that make your brain fog. The things that make you crave more honey when you need meat. It's why you can't sleep. Your gut controls your mind. This is why the IMMANUEL effect was specifically targeted at your gut. It tastes like honey. And here's the big secret: inflammation. Wouldn't you say that Christians are pretty inflamed? They have inflamed egos. We're the only ones that have a real God. We're the only ones that have the real word of God, even though we don't read it. We're the only ones that are going to be saved. And you ever thought about that? Broad is the gate that leads to destruction, and most people go that way. But narrow is the gate that leads to life. If you're a God and most of the people that you created wind up burning in a lake of fire, then you're a failure, aren't you? And have you ever asked yourself why so many Christians are fat? Do you know how many Christians are fat? How much of that's from the IMMANUEL effect? Diet changes your mood. That's the secret this messenger knew. That's the secret this messenger knew. Stop eating their honey. Stop being fat. Listen, 2 months ago, I was fat. I got an Italian wife. Man, can she cook. She's going to hate this, but she's probably as good in the kitchen as she is in the bedroom. She's a beautiful, sexy lady. We're going to find out real quick if Cynthia's still watching. It's past her bedtime. Stop eating their honey. Stop being fat. And mostly stop being fat spiritually. I'm a 1 meal a day guy, Mary. It'll stabilize your blood sugar. You'll stop being inflamed both spiritually and physically. The Immanuel effect is a targeted gut-mind virus, and the Mandela effect is nothing but a distraction. And it's worked on even some of the most smartest people I know, the people here in this chat room. They're destroying who we were for hundreds of millions of years. We were getting rid of toxins, finding good food, avoiding poisons. And our gut was developed to tell us what not to eat. And have you ever heard the saying, you are what you eat? Stop eating that Christian honey and you'll feel better. Can I make a little esoteric turn here? Don't you want to trust your gut? Don't you want to feel your chi? It's really vril. Even biblical language talks about your bowels knowing. They know. They're just hiding it from you. Heathen people have always located intuition, courage, and spiritual knowing in our gut, not our heads, because we knew the truth. Even modern science is now discovering the Immanuel effect. So while our ancestors didn't really know the science about neurons and microbiomes, they could understand. And the Immanuel effect is directly targeted to your gut to pervert this lens. The little book, the New Testament that comes out of the angel, Jesus, Archangel Michael, he's an archon, comes out of his hand, and you eat it up. It tastes super sweet. But then you hear the truth like this and you realize it's bitter and you realize why you're sick and fat, spiritually and physically. But they're preaching their gospel everywhere. A term they stole from us. Gospel means good news of the heathen victory. And that's what I'm preaching. I'm preaching the real gospel. This is the real gospel truth tonight. So sit with this for a minute. Just think about this for a minute. What if your gut feeling isn't supernatural? What if it's your nervous system integrating millions, even billions of data points, body language, subtle cues, stress response, faster than your conscious mind, can't explain. Because when you read the Bible and the contradictions and you got to drink my blood if you want to be saved, your mind says, what the hell? But then you start quoting scripture and you talk yourself out of what your gut knows. Intuition really isn't magic. It's not imagination. It's just being consciously aware of what our great heathen people have always known. You know it in your gut before you know it in your head. And your gut tells you something's wrong with Christianity. But you talk yourself out of it. And now we get to some of the big ones. Beware of false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they're wolves. Why did they have to go to so much trouble to make Jesus a lion and not a wolf? Where he was a wolf, it was always Mr. Spock, never Dr. Spock. Because Jesus comes to you in the clothing of a lamb, but he's really a wolf. He's always been a wolf. He's always been a wolf. And all you have to do is look at the fruit. Every good tree brings forth good fruit. The world was so good when it was before Christianity. We didn't have any world wars until we had a world religion. We didn't have the trouble with the PDFs and the sacrifice and the kidnapping and the trafficking. We didn't have any of that. A good tree can't bring forth evil fruit. A corrupt tree can't bring forth good fruit. Look at the fruit of Christian America. What's good about America anymore? When was America good? Before it was Christian. Since it's been Christian, it's been a wreck, and we can't save it. I served in this country's armed forces for 6 years. We can't save it. I was as patriotic as anybody. We can't save it. The only way to save it is to burn it down and start over. And I'm speaking metaphorically. This is entertainment purposes only. But the Immanuel effect is to make sure that we don't do that. The wolf will lie down with the lamb when he's dead. Beware of those which come to you dressed like a wolf, but dressed like a lamb, but inwardly they're a wolf. This is why they had to convince you Jesus wasn't a wolf, he's a lion. And by their fruits shall you know them. That comes right after that. You never noticed it, did you? Because you never read the Bible. The fruits connect the wolf in sheep's clothing. Just look at what he does. Look at the results of Christianity. When they admit that 20% of their clergy are PDFs, and we know that sex crimes go underreported by at least 100%, that means that about half of their clergy, and not just the Protestant, not just the Catholic ones, are into this. How deep is this? What are the fruits of our 90+% Christian government? What are the fruits of Christianity today? What are the fruits of our national and world scene after at least 1,000 years of the ravening wolf of the Abrahamic domination? See, John, the man, you're falling for the deception. Did Ed McMahon work for Publishers Clearinghouse? Who cares? There's over 800 Mandela effects. Who cares? You've heard nothing of the Immanuel effect. That means it's working on you, John. It's working on you. You're so distracted, and I'm not aiming at John in particular. People are so distracted by the Mandela effect that they never even heard of the Immanuel effect, and that's what's killing us. Oh, but there's real ones. The only real ones are from Kabbalistic magic, black magic. And even the Berenstein becoming Berenstain, I just showed you that was just a chronological change. It wasn't magic at all. They convinced you they're magicians and they're really not. It's time for us to be sober. 1 Peter 5:8. Let's be sober. Let's be vigilant. Because our adversary, the one who's against us, is a roaring lion. This is kosher disclosure. Who's the lion of the tribe of Judah? Who's roaring? The Christians are louder than anybody. They're seeking who they can devour. This is kosher disclosure. The IMMANUEL effect. That the Mandela effect has you distracted from is to hide the fact that the true adversary of humanity is the lion. And as Kylie said, the lion of the tribe of Judah. The Mandela effect is 100% a media-driven effect. Do you know who controls all the media? Do you know who controls all the media? And Samson, who found the honey in the lion, that's me. I found the honey in the lion. My hair's growing. If you hadn't plowed with my heifer, you wouldn't have figured out the riddle. I plowed with that heifer for 25 years. And I figured out the riddle. And now I ride him like a rented mule. I am stronger than the lion of the tribe of Judah. You are stronger than the lion of the tribe of Judah. He is our bitch. The wolf had to become a lion, specifically to align with the creation of the Jesus character as the lion of the tribe of Judah. That is the IMMANUEL effect. Forget the Mandela effect. Learn the IMMANUEL effect. And remember the bears? I showed you the Berenstein bears. You got to be sharp because they are. You got to stop missing the details, and you got to start noticing all of the details. Let's talk about bears for a second. Even, wasn't it Dorothy that said lions and tigers and bears? Oh, my. Did you pick up on the bears? 15 verses in the Bible about bears. And the beast of Revelation 13, the beast, he's got the feet of a bear, a Berenstein bear, and the mouth of a lion. And he has seats. He's an authority in government. Daniel 7:5. I want to show you this large. Daniel 7:5. It's more important than my pretty, sexy face right now. Suddenly, another beast appeared 1,000 years ago. I believe 1,000 years has been added to history. Suddenly, 1,000 years ago, another beast appeared. Proto-Abrahamism, which was Judaism, from which Christianity was born. A beast appeared. He was like a bear, like a Berenstein bear. Proto-Abrahamics. Berenstein, Proto-Abrahamics. He was a Berenstein. And he was raised up on one of his sides because his Christian side would become stronger than his Jewish side. But he had 3 ribs in his mouth: Judaism, Christianity, Islam. And he says, go gorge yourself on flesh. Who has gorged themselves on more heathen flesh than the Abrahamics matrix? And what does suddenly mean? The word suddenly comes from Strong's Hebrews 7:18. It means to curse and invoke evil upon. Christianity is based on cursing and invoking evil upon everybody that won't accept it, isn't it? What does raised up mean? It's H6966. Establish, confirm on one of the sides. You could argue that Christianity, one of the 3 Abrahamic religions, has been raised up and established. You could argue that. You could argue that. You're smart, John. You could argue that. Are you picking up on the lions and the bears? Like a bear robbed of her cubs, I will attack them. That's what happened in Genesis 6. People were resisting the Abrahamic invasion. So what are they trying to do? Tear us open, to tear our chests open to get to our hearts. Devour them like a lion of the tribe of Judah, who's a wild beast. Even Daniel 7:4, which is 11, said that first beast is like a lion of the tribe of Judah. He has wings of an eagle, because Christianity is only preserved by the United States of America. But the day is coming. The day is coming when those wings will be torn off, and they will be revealed as just men. They will be revealed as just men. And we will, in this reverse prophecy, all the Gentiles will hear these words. All our great heathen people will hear these words. And we will be delivered from the mouth of the lion of the tribe of Judah. It's already happening. And the devil, who was supposed to be the enemy, showed him all the kingdoms of the world, speaking of Jesus. And he says, I will give this to you. How could the devil give him something unless he had it? If you will just worship me. And this is the deal that the Jesus character is making with all of our great heathen people. I'll give you the world if you'll just fall down and worship me. And far too many of our people are turning their back on their gods, their goddesses, their ancestors, and their people to worship Jesus, to win the whole world, to take over the whole world. And didn't the Bible itself say that you can gain the whole world and lose your own soul? The only way to gain this world is to lose your soul. Listen to the lions and the bears. Daniel 7:7. Terrifying, dreadful, strong. This beast. Different from all the beasts before it. There's never been a religion like Christianity. It's completely different. No other religion ever says before Christianity, before Judaism came, which created Christianity, and then Islam followed. There's never been a religion that said you got to follow our way or you're going to burn forever. Never. Daniel 7:17, which is 15, which is again a 6, the number of man. There's 4 great beasts: Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and the new combined religion that's coming. And this new religion, it's going to appear on the earth. It's going to devour the whole earth if we don't stop it. If we don't stop it. If we don't rise and subdue these 3 kings, we will lose. They say, oh, we've killed lions and bears. This is David, from whom the lion of the tribe of Judah comes. These uncircumcised Philistines are defying the armies of the living God. Yes, we are. And we'll continue to do so. And so far, the God of the Bible has delivered them from us. And this is prophecy, folks. Our gods will deliver us from the claws of this lion of the tribe of Judah. They'll deliver us from this bear. How will we be delivered? By the hands of our people, the heathen people. Go, said Saul and Paul. My heathen friends that have become Christians, you want to throw in with them? May he be with you, because you got a fight coming. And by the power of us heathens, we will be delivered from this line of the tribe of Judah. This word God is not the Bible God, it's God's. The gods are sending their messengers. And we are and finally will shut the mouth of the lion of the tribe of Judah. We will shut his lion mouth, Kylie. The wolf will live with the lamb. The wolf lives in the lamb. And they want to lie down with the kids. They're feasting on the Gentiles and growing fat. And they're led by a bunch of little children. A bunch of little children. They all want to act like they're warriors, but they won't even make a phone call. They want your children to reach into the viper's nest. There's a lot of imagery there that I won't go into. But even the beasts of the field will join us. But see, they want to get rid of bows and swords. They want to make us lie down so they don't have to fight us because they know they can't beat us. They want to rid this world of wild animals, which to them are the people that won't follow their religion. That's the only way they can dwell securely, is if we give up. Don't give up. Because if this lion gets his way, there won't be anybody left to make the Abrahamic matrix tremble. They will give our lands to their own people. And if we don't stand up, these beasts will take over the earth, and there'll be nobody left to fight them. Nobody left to fight them. But here's the good news. Even Paul in Romans chapter 8, verses 19 through 22 had to say, the creation, our beautiful, perfect, divine earth, is waiting in eager expectation for the revelation of the sons of God. I just did that on the last D program. I told you who the sons of God are. This prophecy is about me, or at least the message that I'm preaching. We know who the sons of God are now. We're the sons of God. We're the fallen angels. We're the Nephilim. Creation has been subjected to futility ever since the invasion of the Abrahamics. But this world will be better than it's ever been, sooner than we can even imagine, because creation will be set free from this bondage, from this decay, and we will move into a greater glorious freedom than we've ever seen because of the children of the gods. Look it up in, why don't we look it up right now? Who are the children of the God? You say, oh, that's the Christians, the children of God. No, it's not. Let me show you what that is. Romans 8, 19 through 22. Somebody remember that for me. Romans 8, 19 through 22. Watch this. Romans 8, 19 through 22. We'll go back to Bible Hub for a quick minute. Romans 8, 19 through 22. Let me get to it first. Romans 8, 19 through 22, before I forget it. Romans, come on, Bible Hub. Don't you dare fail me now. Romans 8, 19 through 22. It's slagging. Bible Hub always works perfectly, except when I'm live. Romans 8, 19 through 22, right? Come on, Bible Hub. Romans 8. Come on, Bible Hub. Romans 8. It's picking up now. Romans 8. And we're going to do 19 through 22. Romans 8, 19. I'll bring it up when I get there. Don't worry. Romans 8, 19 through 22. Watch this. This is big. This is really big. Who are the sons of God? Specifically, who's God in this? Who's God in this? Watch. It ain't the God of the Bible. Watch. And this is in the New Testament. Okay. Can I make this bigger? I want you to see this. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit. Okay. Watch. The sons, what's the word sons mean? Sons. Men. Men. The sons of who? Oh, Jeff, of God. It says God. What's the word? The sons of, they want you to think it's the Bible God, but it really means the sons of any God. Your gods, my gods. Look at this. Gods, the godly, the divine, the God-fearing. I don't fear God. That's their word. Any deity. Any deity. It's not the God of the Bible. It's not the God of the Bible. It's us, the sons of the gods. It's us. We're the ones we've been waiting for. And we're finding out who we are. That's why the world's going to be better than it's ever been. Sooner than even we can imagine. Because we're realizing we're divine, we're sovereign, we're free. And creation is rooting for us. Why do they want to beat the swords into plows? Why do they want to turn the spears into pruning hooks? Well, number one, that's how they fish for men. No one will take up sword against, that word nation means the Gentiles. No one will train for war anymore, only because they've got us all defeated. We can't let that happen. But today, we're like men that flee from a lion. Why are we running from the lion in the tribe of Judah? Do you really think he's going to send you to hell? No, because it's not real. They've multiplied the plagues of our people 7 times. They're sending all kinds of wild animals against us. Just watch the news. They're robbing us of our children. They're destroying our wealth. They're reducing our numbers. And even our roads, literally, in this country lie desolate. The first settlers on this earth did not worship the Lord. It says so right in the Bible. So what did he do? He sent the lion of the tribe of Judah to kill them. But he didn't kill all of us. He called down a curse on them in the name of the Lord. And 2 female bears. There's those bears again. They mauled 42, which is 6 of the men, the boys. This cowardly God has sent snakes among us. What did Trump say? You knew damn well I was a snake when you took me in. And they're biting us. They're biting you. And they're from the Lord. He's barred our ways. That means our ways, our lands, with cut stones, which means fences. He's made all of our great heathen ways crooked. He's a bear lying in wait. He's a lion hiding behind the Mandela effect. He's forced us off of our paths. He's torn us to pieces. He's a lion that hides in the bushes behind the Mandela effect. He's just seizing the oppressed. He's catching the lowly in his net, just like Jesus did. The Lion of the tribe of Judah in Hosea has pounced on us. They hunt us like lions, says Job, written before the Israelites ever came. They're hunting us like lions, and they're displaying their power against us right now. Amos 3:8, which is 11. The Lion of the tribe of Judah is roared. And so many of you are afraid of him. I'm afraid of going to hell, Jeff. The Lord has spoken, so you quit preaching the truths of your people, not me. And I've been pretty composed, but now it's time to fight back. This Lion of the tribe of Judah has been breaking our bones. From day when they're devouring us and night when they're raping us, they're trying to make an end of us. It's not going to happen. Job, which predates Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. If you dare to hold your head high and say, no, I won't go on bended knee, they hunt you like a lion of the tribe of Judah. And they display their power against you. The false prophets come to you in sheep's clothing, but they're really a wolf. Jesus is a wolf. He always was and he always will be. He's the devil prowling around like a roaring lion trying to devour us. But all our slackers, Proverbs 26:13, which equals 3. The slacker says, oh, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He's so fierce. He owns the public square. And 1 Kings 20 and 36, which is a 9 with the 1. 1, 3, 6, 12, which it reduces to a 3. 3, 6, 12 reduces to a 3. All their prophets say, because you haven't obeyed the word of the God of the Bible, the Lion of the tribe of Judah will kill you. They've removed all of our guides. They've removed all of our gods. They've rid us from this American Judah. They want to. They want to rid us from Jerusalem. They want to carry out the words of the law found in the house of the Lord by the Erica Kirk predecessor Huldah. We talked about that last week or last Sunday. What's today? Today? What is today? Today's Sunday. We talked about that on Wednesday. And what does this army of locusts, grasshoppers, what did the Israelite spies say? We're like grasshoppers, locusts in their sight. What do they look like? They have the faces of men, but they got the hair of women. Galatians 3:28, anybody? There'll be no male or female. They say they're men, but they're really women. And they got the teeth. Their only teeth is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. If you realize that he's a lie, you win. They rise up early in the morning and run to see who got thrown in the den of lions. Isn't it interesting that they woke up very early in the morning and ran into the supposed sepulcher of the supposed risen Jesus? They try to tell us, you can only come this far and no further. Their arrows are sharpened. Their bows are strung. Their Lion of the tribe of Judah roars. They roar because they think they're little lions. They growl. They seize us. And if you look around, you can see this land It's covered by darkness. It's covered by distress. From the Immanuel effect, from the Mandela effect, which is brought to you on the cloud. Man, this is good. But are you ready for some good news? We're living in the days right now where the roaring of this lion of the tribe of Judah, and remember Job wrote before the Abrahamic matrix, before any Jews, before any Christians, before any Muslims. The roaring of this lion of the tribe of Judah, this supposedly fierce lion of the tribe of Judah, the teeth of all these young lions, these Christians, these ortho boys, even these Muslims, they're broken. This lion has gotten old. And we are not his prey anymore. And all of these little lions, these little Christians, they're being scattered abroad. They're losing the war for the ideas of the hearts and minds of men and women. Forget the Mandela effect. Learn the Immanuel effect. He's a wolf. He's never been a lamb. And he's in sheep's clothing. That's what this wool means. Jesus, half wolf, half lamb. You know, there's an old American Indian saying that says, it's like there's two animals inside of me. They're fighting. You know which one wins? The one you feed the most. The one you feed the most. Jesus is the wolf in sheep's clothing. He's the wolf that wants to destroy you, and they're trying to convince you that he's a lamb. But he's lying. Judah means Israel. I'm ready. Are you ready to have your minds blown right now? I mean, blown. Revelation 5, chapter 6 through 10, verses 6 through 10. One of the elders said, don't cry, because the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of Jesse, is going to open the 7 seals. And where did this lamb come from? He came from the midst, the middle of the elders. And he's a lamb who appeared to have been slain. Well, look at that. What are the elders? They're the presbyteros. They're the older, the senior. The word means literally in Greek, an Israelite Sanhedrist or a Christian presbyter. And where did they come from? From the midst of the elders. And the Lion of the tribe of Judah is Judah. Israel, same thing. He comes from David, the king of Judah. And he's prevailed. I know there's a war right now between Christianity and Islam. Christianity is going to win that. And he's going to open the book. He's going to open the scroll. Scroll ties back to Jewish religion. It ties Christianity forever to the Jewish scroll religion. There's no Christianity without the Judeo. Deal with it. And there's only one book that has 7 seals, and that's Revelation. And Jesus is opening, the Jesus character is opening the 7 seals to rain down upon an earth that won't accept him. And where does Jesus come from, the Lion of the tribe of Judah? He comes from the middle, the midst, and from among the elders of Judah. You can't de-Judaize Jesus. Listen to this. He's a lamb that only appears to have been slain. He was never slain. But first, who are the elders? Have you ever heard of the protocols of the learned elders of Zion? Jesus in Revelation is in the midst of the protocols of the learned elders of Zion. That's where he comes from. It's the most influential conspiracy text ever published. And the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum says it's fake, and it falsely claims to reveal an Abrahamic's plan for world domination. And Jesus comes from the midst of these people. And not only does he come from the midst of them, he stands up. He stands, he sets, he establishes these people. Jesus stands, Jesus is set, Jesus is established, and Jesus is right in the middle of the learned elders of Zion in the book of Revelation. That's the end. But he's only looking as if he had been slain. It just means to look like, to look even as. The text doesn't say he was slain. The storyteller discloses to you that they're just trying to make it appear like he's been slain. Jesus, the Lamb, was never slain. He was never crucified. This is the heart of the Immanuel effect, to convince you that he was a real man that got crucified. He didn't. It's a lie. And just in case you don't believe me, Bible Hub says this is an analogy or a likeness. This word means an analogy or a likeness. It's a parable. Who taught in parables? It's hyperbole, which means making stuff up. Making stuff up. Are you learning something tonight? And this lamb, who's Jesus, Jesus had 7 horns and 7 eyes. Jesus. And what did those eyes? They were spirits that were sent into all the earth. They were all seeing eyes. Not AI, but AI, 7 eyes. A number of multiplicity and even infinity. He took the book, and the elders worship Jesus. The elders of the learned, the protocols of Zion, worship Jesus. These elders bowed before Jesus in the book of Revelation, which is the end. The elders say that Jesus has redeemed them by his blood out of all the kindreds, tongues, peoples, and nations, out of our people, and has made them the elders, kings, and priests, the chosen people reigning on earth. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Jesus enables the reign of the learned elders. That's the Immanuel effect that the Mandela effect is trying to hide. Here's what Jesus really is. His 7 horns are the surveillance mechanism. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty or nice. 1 for each continent. Great idea, Deborah. 7 really means completion, complete surveillance, infinite surveillance. But 7 continents, that's a good one. And notice he doesn't have a single eye like the eye of providence. He doesn't have a single eye like the eye of Odin. The 7 seals, Mr. T, you can read about them in Revelation. You see what they are. They're plagues on the earth. Jesus has 7 eyes, which clearly differentiates him from the deist and heathen lore upon which America was founded. This is the Immanuel effect that the Mandela effect is trying to hide. This is Jesus in his true form, waiting to catch you in something so he can leverage you into worshiping him or throw you in a lake of fire that doesn't exist. What does this remind you of? Here's your Jesus. Here's your all-seeing surveillance. Straight out of the book of Ezekiel. I'm going to play that again. Some angels are demons. This is Ezekiel's wheel. And these are eyes all on the outside of it. And here's the eye in the middle. I'm going to play that again. This is what we're dealing with. This is Jesus. This is the Jesus beast. This is the Immanuel effect. Does that look holy to you, or does that look like a holy terror? 7 seals, 7 deadly sins. I love it, Kylie. Here's who Jesus truly is. When you look within yourself, you can see the lamb is a lion, or the lamb is a wolf, and he's lying. This is who he really is. That's the Jesus beast. That's the Immanuel effect. And just one more time so it hits home. Is that holy, or is that a holy terror? You know they're surveilling you in church right now. Every time you go to church, they have Chinese level facial recognition, data scraping, making a list, checking it twice. The stone set before Joshua, which is the same word as Jesus, it has 7 eyes. But there's 4 horns, the 4 heathen races. Red, yellow, black, and white. Who are these 4 heathen races? They're the ones that have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. We're winning, but they're going to fight. Bubblegum, I'm going to open the phone lines, but you can't spam the chat. If you want to call and share your perspectives, you can call, but this is not a write-in show. It's a call-in show, and I'm about to open the lines. But they're not going to go down without a fight, because the Lord has 4 master craftsmen. Clearly Masonic language. The Protestants, the Catholics, the Ortho Boys, and Islam, all Freemasonic. What are these for? To destroy the Gentiles that are having victory over the land of Judah and the line of the tribe of Judah. This is the Immanuel effect, to try to keep us from winning. Either the 4 heathen races will win, or the 4 master craftsmen, Protestants, Catholics, Orthodox, and Islam, will win. This is what the Mandela effect is hiding. This is the Immanuel effect, the Jesus beast. Let me wrap it up. Jesus is the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro throughout the whole earth. But Job 1:7 discloses to us that Satan, just like Jordan Maxwell told us, Satan is roaming through the earth. Satan's walking back and forth in it. But it's the eyes of the Lord that are going to and fro. Oh my. The Immanuel effect discloses what Jordan Maxwell told us earlier. The Lord, Jesus, and Satan, the adversary, they're the same people. And they are, Noah wasn't real, bro. They are surveilling the entire earth. And how are they surveilling the entire earth? Isn't it interesting? There were 7 churches in Revelation. These are the 7 spirits. What did Rabbi Laitman tell us? They're sleeper cells. And they all come from Jesus. Even the churches are surveillance centers. This is the Immanuel effect. Oh, you don't believe me? CL Automate shows you. See the cross over her face? Church data surveillance, what the congregant should know. If you're going to a church that has more than 200 people, you are walking into facial recognition in the entrances, in the lobbies. It scans everybody who walks in and creates a unique biometric identifier for you in your church. They data aggregate you. They scrape your social media. They scrape your public records. They scrape third-party data sets to build enriched profiles of you in your church. It's not in China. It's in your church. They use AI to analyze language and behavior so they can profile you. Not in China, but in church. And CL Automate, who sells this software to the churches, says, and I quote, "To our knowledge, no church has informed their congregations." I just did. Did you go to church today? Did you go to church today? The Jesus Beast is the message of the Immanuel effect. The Immanuel effect is a 100% media-driven phenomenon. Do you know who controls virtually 100% of the media? We have missed. How have we missed the obvious for so long? Well, now it's become obvious to me. We missed it because it's just part of a distraction psyop called the Mandela effect, meant to cover the last-ditch effort, which is the real psyop, the IMMANUEL effect. And this teases up to Wednesday's show, which is going to be blood over intent. 1 Peter 1:18, which is 11. But with the precious blood of Christ, foreordained since the beginning of their invasion of our earth, being manifest in these last times. Next week, we go into blood over intent. Next week, we go into blood over intent. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, we'll throw open the phone lines. And this is your chance to go ahead and call in. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. We'll be right back after this short musical break. Wrap it up with your calls.
Face the beast, I felt its claws, I've seen its feast. It whispers lies, it feeds on fear, but I stand strong, the path is clear. The shadows crawl, the weak may fall, deception spreads to choke us all. I won't be fooled, I won't comply, I raise my voice, I will not die. Rise from the ashes, break every chain. Truth is our weapon, fury our flame. Tremble, the night may scream, but we are stronger than what we've seen. I've beaten the beast, I face the night. Now who stands with me to claim the fight? No more lies, no more deceit. We rise as one, our hearts won't retreat. The beast may roar, it may claw, it may bite, it prowls the dark, it shuns the light. But we are fire, we are steel, we take our fate, we will not kneel. Eyes open wide, hearts burning bright, we move as one through endless night. The lies may try to pull us down, but we are kings and queens uncrowned. Rise from the ashes, break every chain. Truth is our weapon, fury our flame. The world may tremble, the night may scream, but we are stronger than what we've seen. I've beaten the beast, I face the night. Now who stands with me to claim I've beaten the beast, I've faced the night. Now who stands with me to claim the fight? No more lies, no more deceit. We rise as one, our hearts won't retreat. I know the beast, I've faced the beast, but we are many, our strength unleashed. Now step into the light, stand and see who will rise, who will rise with me.
Who will rise with me, and who will stay on bended knee? Who will rise with me, and who will stay on bended knee? The phone lines are open. 913-228-2586. Just be polite, be interesting, and be YouTube friendly. And you can be on the D program. If you cease to be any of those three things, you will cease to be on the D program. This is your chance. If you disagree with me, call. If you agree with me, you can call. If you have a question, you can call. If you have a comment, you can call. If you have a question about another D program, you can call. This is Open Line Sunday. This is Open Line Sunday. All you have to do is pick up the phone. You got to have the balls to make the calls. If you can do that, you can be on the D program. And when the phone rings, I'll reduce the screen so nobody sees your phone number. This is probably the most biblically intense D program I've done in a long, long time. And it always mystifies me that people will rant and rave in the chat, but given a chance to call, they won't. Can somebody explain that to me? If you love me, you can call. If you hate me, you can call. If you can politely ask a question, thank you, Mr. B. Allow me to respond. Don't talk over the host. These t-shirts are available in the box below. The I Do Believe posters are there, mugs. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. But I guess we're at the crickets portion of the D program where nobody wants to call. You know, Mike Tyson said the problem with the world is that the internet has created a place where people can say whatever they want without being punched in the nose. And this is just verbal. All these Christians claim they're great warriors. They're so strong, but they're too weak to even pick up a phone. God, I wish I could find a worthy opponent. But I guess we're not going to, are we? If you disagree with me about the Mandela effect, you can call. It's interesting, isn't it? This is Sunday, right? On Wednesday, we'll have a new D program. We're going to go to blood over intent. Do you really know what blood over intent is? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. I really don't think you do. You might think you know what blood over intent is, but you don't. I have a TikTok these days, and I'm getting up near 150 subscribers. I think I'm on. I have 110 subscribers now, or followers on TikTok. I think we've been streaming on. We're streaming on. Looks like we're streaming on Telegram right now. Intelligence Alliance says that the 7 eyes are an expansion of the famous 5 eyes for Signals Intelligence Alliance. The 7 eyes are the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, France, and Germany, all predominantly Christian nations. Thanks to Charles Glenn for that email he just sent me. There's reasons why I check these things every now and then. Oh my goodness. That's why this is the smartest audience on YouTube. Well, thank you, Mr. B, for subbing on TikTok. I appreciate it. Well, nobody's going to call, it doesn't look like. It disappoints me. It really does. But now I'm going to ban a bitch over here. I've been on there for a week, you retard. And I shouldn't say retard, you mental midget. I've been on TikTok for a week, and we got 110 subscribers. He says it's hard to stay that low on subs. How many do you have? Prussian Black 6457, who's now banned. How many you got? We banned 2 bitches tonight. Isn't that funny? We banned 2 bitches tonight. I think that's kind of funny. We banned them. Mentally challenged. That's a good one. They're mentally challenged. Thank you, Claudette. They're mentally challenged. All right. I'm right here. Ready, willing, and waiting. Yeah, only 2, Kylie. It's been a slow night. Only 2. Well, wow. That was some good stuff. Deep, dense. I know most people don't have the tummy for it, but y'all are different. You're divine. 26 on Telegram right now. Awesome. Thank you. That's great. Telegram, if you want to call, 913-228-2586. 913-228-2586. You can call in over on the YouTube feed. I got to figure out why I'm not going live on Rumble. I did it one time. I've done it. I just don't understand. I just restarted the Telegram today. I haven't been able to figure that one out, but no, I'm not bad with technology, and I'm technically not a boomer. But it's crazy, isn't it? It just is. It's kind of tough. I wish I had somebody that could help me with it, but I don't. Thank you, Kylie. Kylie says, we love you, Jeff. We appreciate you. I appreciate you guys, too. I really do. I really do. Mr. B says you'll see me on Wednesday. Well, I guess it's that time, isn't it? Well, I'm so glad we had this time together. Just to have a laugh and sing a song. Ban a bitch or 2 along the way. But it seems we just get started. And then it's time to say so long. That was Carol Burnett. But not before I remind you that you're divine, you're sovereign, and you're free. You don't have original sin. You're divine, you're sovereign, and you're free. You don't have to go on bended knee to somebody else's savior. And this world will be better than it's ever been, sooner than even we can imagine, because we're finally realizing who we are. We're the ones that we've been waiting for. The last generation of real humans. I salute you for being here, seeking after truth. Find me on Substack. Find me on TikTok. Find my products and my sponsors in the box below. And I'll see you again on Wednesday night. Shorts aplenty between now and then. I love you and I appreciate you.